Before the end, there was joy. The world was alive, a green, endless paradise. Dinosaurs walked through their own living Eden. Families, herds, hunters, and giants. They ruled the land. But paradise never lasts forever. A murder was committed, not just of a creature or a species, but of an entire world. 66 million years ago, the mightiest beings ever to walk the earth vanished, not through centuries of slow decay, not through famine or plague, but in a single instant of geological time. The forests fell silent, the oceans grew dark, and the thunder of footsteps that once shook continents was gone for generations. We thought we knew the killer, a rock from the sky, a perfect suspect, cold, merciless, quick. It came screaming through the atmosphere, a streak of light brighter than the sun, and in a single heartbeat, it turned paradise to ash, an impact so violent it could be felt across the planet. Rivers boiled, mountains crumbled, and the age of giants ended. It was the perfect crime, and the evidence seemed undeniable. But what if we were wrong? What if the asteroid wasn't the murderer, but the weapon? What if something older, deeper, and far more familiar had already set the stage? What if the true killer was the Earth itself? It was paradise. Forests stretched from pole to pole. Even near Antarctica, ferns and redwoods grew tall, their leaves glistening with dew that never froze. The air was heavy, warm, alive, thick with oxygen, thick with the scent of growth. This was the late Cretaceous, a world 10 degrees warmer than today. Seas swallowed half the continents, turning the planet into a patchwork of green islands and inland oceans. Gigantic reptiles ruled the land, titanic herbivores that shook the earth as they moved, and above them, the skies shimmered with color and wings. Feathered hunters glided on thermal winds, their eyes sharp as fire, their shadows stretching across the forests below. In the swamps, ancient crocodiles lounged beneath canopies of palm. In the seas, mosasaurs hunted in silence, their movements slow, deliberate, lethal. Every corner of the earth was filled with life. Lush, balanced, unstoppable, it was a golden age, the final act of the dinosaurs' long dominion. But paradise has a heartbeat, and deep beneath its surface, the rhythm was changing. Under a drifting island that would one day be called India, something ancient began to wake. At first, the signs were subtle, small tremors rippling through the sea floor, a whisper of pressure rising through the mantle. But inside the Earth's heart, heat was gathering, a slow pulse of magma building, waiting for the moment it would finally break free. Pressure built for millions of years. Deep beneath the crust, the mantle seethed like a living thing, a slow heartbeat of molten rock, rising, pulsing, searching for a way out, until one day, the Earth exhaled. The crust tore open, not in one place, but across thousands of kilometers. Through fractures the size of mountain ranges, magma surged upward in unstoppable waves. It wasn't a volcano, it was a wound that would bleed fire for nearly 1 million years. Rivers of molten rock carved across the land. They swallowed forests, vaporized lakes, buried valleys beneath oceans of flame. When the lava cooled, it rose again, layer upon layer, stacked in endless sheets of black basalt. It spread wider than anything humanity would ever build. An empire of stone, half a kilometer thick, stretching across what would one day become Western India. Scientists call it the Deccan Traps, a name born from the Swedish word trappa, meaning stairs, because the land it left behind looks like steps carved by gods. But those steps were born from catastrophe. Each eruption poured out more than 1,000 cubic kilometers of lava, enough to bury all of modern Europe beneath molten rock. And yet, the real danger wasn't the fire, it was the air. Every explosion filled the sky with poison. Billions of tons of carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and ash. The atmosphere thickened. The oceans began to choke. The planet itself started to turn against life. What began as fire would soon become suffocation. The volcanoes exhaled death, carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, mercury, invisible killers that rose into the sky and stayed there. Each eruption sent clouds of poison spiraling into the stratosphere, so high that winds carried them across the world. Every year, billions of tons of gas escaped, enough to change the very color of the sky. The sun dimmed. Behind a shroud of ash and vapor, days turned copper, nights burned red. Sulfur cooled the planet, casting the world into shadow. But carbon, relentless and patient, trapped the heat that followed. And so the earth began to tremble between extremes, freezing, then burning, then freezing again. It was chaos in slow motion. The oceans absorbed the carbon, their waters turned to acid, coral reefs dissolved, shells of plankton, the tiny architects of life, melted in the deep. Without them, the base of the food chain collapsed. The sea fell silent. Above the water, forests burned endlessly. Ash drifted across continents. Like dark snow, rain fell black and bitter, a toxic brew of acid and mercury. Even the air grew heavy. Animals coughed on the fumes. The climate swung like a pendulum, unstable, unpredictable, merciless. And still, the dinosaurs endured. They migrated across dying lands, seeking food, warmth, safety, instinct guiding them through a world that no longer obeyed its own rules. For hundreds of thousands of years, they lived in the shadow of a planet that had begun to turn against them. But far beyond the clouds, beyond the poison and smoke, something else was moving. Something cold, something ancient, something that would finish what the Earth had begun. Far beyond Mars, a fragment of rock drifted through the void, 10 kilometers wide, cold, silent, waiting. For millions of years, it wandered the darkness, a leftover shard from the birth of the solar system, an orphan of creation, frozen, forgotten, adrift. Until one day, gravity reached out, a chain of invisible hands, first from Jupiter, then from Earth, and slowly, silently, the rock began to fall. It entered our atmosphere at 20 kilometers per second, 72,000 kilometers an hour. A streak of light brighter than the sun. Its tail stretched across half the sky. In its final seconds, it outshone everything humanity would ever create. a cosmic torch signaling the end of an age. And then, impact. It struck what is now the Yucatan Peninsula, a shallow tropical sea, warm and full of life. In that instant, oceans turned to vapor. Mountains melted. The very crust of the earth rippled like water. The energy released was equal to 4 billion Hiroshima bombs, a heat pulse hotter than the surface of the sun. The shockwave tore through the planet, winds faster than any hurricane, blasting across continents, flattening forests as far as North America's interior. The crater, 180 kilometers wide, became a scar named Chicxulub, and from that wound, fire rose higher than the clouds. A pillar of flame and molten rock reached into the stratosphere, carrying with it dust, ash, and death. The age of reptiles ended in less time than a single heartbeat. The shockwave circled the planet in minutes. Forests ignited spontaneously, their leaves catching fire from the falling rain of molten debris. The sky rained glass, tiny droplets of melted stone called tektites, each glowing as it fell, lighting the night in a deadly storm of sparks. Animals thousands of kilometers away felt the ground shake beneath their feet. Seas heaved and retreated, unleashing tsunamis hundreds of meters high. Entire coastlines vanished, and then the world went dark. Billions of tons of soot and ash rose into the atmosphere, blotting out the sun. Daylight vanished, stars disappeared. The earth fell into a twilight that lasted for years. Temperatures dropped below freezing. Photosynthesis stopped. The food chain, from leaf to giant, collapsed. Plants withered. Herbivores starved. Predators followed. It was an impact winter, a world without light or warmth. And in that suffocating dark, the planet's other wound still bled. On the far side of the world, in what would one day be India, the Deccan Traps kept erupting. Lava poured for centuries more, filling the air with sulfur and carbon, turning the global winter into a storm of poison. Fire from below, fire from above. And caught between them, the dinosaurs, the masters of the earth, reduced to shadows in the ash. Some scientists believe only weeks separated the final Deccan eruption from the moment the asteroid struck. If that is true, then the two greatest forces in natural history didn't collide by chance. They conspired. The heavens delivered the blow. The earth made sure it lasted. The world grew still. Ash fell like snow across the dying forests. Lightning crackled over black skies. The last dinosaurs wandered through shadow, hungry, wounded, alone. Some saw the horizon glow red. Others heard the endless thunder of collapsing worlds. But none of them saw another sunrise. When it was over, 3 out of every 4 species on Earth were gone. And for the first time in 150 million years, the Earth was quiet. For decades, scientists blamed the asteroid. It made sense. It was simple, spectacular, cinematic. But stone remembers. In layers of ancient clay, scientists found traces of sulfur, mercury, and carbon. the chemical fingerprints of massive sustained eruptions. And when they dated the rocks, they discovered that the worst Deccan eruptions happened within 100,000 years of the impact. The asteroid didn't start the killing. It finished it, like lightning striking a dying tree. The Deccan Traps were not the first. 250 million years earlier, the Siberian Traps erupted for 1 million years and killed 95% of life on Earth. Later came others, the Central Atlantic eruptions, the Deccan Traps, each marking the end of an age. 5 times in Earth's history, life nearly died. 4 of those times, the killer came from below. The Earth itself is a serial killer, and extinction is how it breathes. After the fire came silence. Ash settled, rain returned, and life began again. The survivors were small, mammals the size of rats, birds with fragile feathers. They inherited a broken world and rebuilt it. From them came every mammal, every whale, every human. The Earth had cleared its stage and waited for new actors to rise. Every extinction leaves a message, written not in words, but in stone. The dinosaurs didn't just die from one blow. They died because their world changed faster than life could adapt. The skies darkened, the oceans acidified, the air turned toxic, and today, the same warning returns. Carbon dioxide levels rise once again. Oceans warm. Forests burn. The difference is simple. This time, the volcano has hands. But not all of them vanished. A small lineage of feathered dinosaurs took to the skies and survived. They are the birds we see today, living descendants of the age that burned. Every sparrow, every eagle, every crane is a survivor of the apocalypse. When they sing, they carry the memory of fire and the whisper of a vanished world. The mystery is solved, but not as we imagined. The asteroid was the blade. The Earth was the hand that held it. Life on this planet was forged in catastrophe, and it will end the same way. Because beneath our feet, the same fires still breathe, the same gases still stir, the same power waits. And when the next great age ends, perhaps we'll leave behind our own layer of ash for someone else to dig up and whisper, "Who killed us?" And if this journey through time moved you, if the echoes of the ancient world still linger in your mind, then stay with us. Subscribe and step with us into the next chapter of Earth's forgotten history.